Only 5 o'clock, so I'm thinking it might just finally rain, because that's not a sunset. That's a storm rolling in, making it that color. Starting to smell like rain. Finally, some rain, huh? I did not end up watering yesterday. With the soil having been parched for so long, I'm really glad. I think I just felt a drip. Really glad that I do use swales and water catchment the way that I do. Because most places... Look, I blocked myself out here. This is going to be difficult. Most places around here, when they get a really heavy storm after it's been dry for a while, it just rips everything up. Causes a lot of flooding and stuff because the water can't soak into dry soil. But my soil isn't dry in most places. And the places where it is, there are catch drains along a lot of the places I need it to be. I would like to add some sort of divertment into a deep sink type of pondish thing here. That would really add a lot. But, in the meantime, it's doing pretty good. It is. I had to add a lot of runaway drain here because it was flooding my porch and causing my cement patio pad to crack. So it runs away freely now so it doesn't freeze up in the winter. And then the first place that it jumps into a sink hole is off of here. There are a lot of spots that it can get through and get into the asparagus. Heads down that way. It also continues this way, falls into this area, which has this retainer wall along the front that catches the water. The water used to wash all the soil off the top of this when I first put it in, and so these tires, which are the whole way along, you just can't tell so well anymore because the one side of them's missing. I cut it off. When it comes into here, it'll stop up against these tires and sink into the ground. And then here, this walkway is kind of slanted and it catches into the food hedge, all the way along here. So the amount of runoff is very minimal. Any that runs down here catches in the trough down this way. And then, ooh, big wind. That's almost gotta be a storm coming, and thank goodness. It doesn't blow that hard too often. The French drain, of course, is a large volume of water that certainly used to flood all through here. And it will still overflow in a safe manner that's not going to cause destruction, but this catchment retains quite a lot of it, so it's not nearly as destructive as it was. And that's also the overflow point for the rest of the garden, so that there is a safe runoff spot so that my house doesn't flood. But, yeah. I wonder if we'll have lightning. We will definitely have soggy wood chips. The storm's coming from behind us right now. That's the predominant weather pattern. The wind doesn't have a predominant direction up here because the heat and heat sink of the river down there causes air to rise in the evening and fall in the morning or mid-afternoon. So there's not really a prevailing wind, but there is a prevailing weather pattern direction. That does make this site a little bit different. Everything's all whipping around. Yeah, I think it's gonna storm. I'm so happy. It's been so dry. And I might just get out an umbrella and watch the water work. These are gonna be heavier to move, but whatever, it's fine. I don't actually feel uncomfortable with the truck right now. Get them start cooking already, because that's still pretty green material. That's so crazy that a storm can be such a big deal that it causes it to look like a sunset. I love it. But it's not a sunset. The sun is probably around in there somewhere. Is that lightning? I think I saw a flash, but maybe I'm crazy. So pretty. It smells like someone's grilling too. Not a great time to be out on the grill, but you know, whatever, it's fine. Hopefully they'll be alright. So yeah, this area, it used to fill the walkways with water and then have it run down the sidewalk and run also up against the house, which again, I do have a cracked foundation now due to water damage from 10 years ago that became bad enough that I actually had to have support struts put in. It's repaired, but the damage is done, and I certainly can't continue to have water damage, hence the French drain. But this angle was like this, and then it would run into the sidewalk, also onto the other side, because this downspout, instead of going into the French drain, it just let out right there. And it used to go just down the sidewalk, and almost all the water from this half of the yard would just leave. Now we have sunken pathways was the first part, which were like micro swales that caught a little bit. But then last summer, about this time of year, I also added this large water catchment trough, which you've seen me nursing little plants inside of. But it also fully floods. This is just, there were roots there. I left it because there were roots there. But I do want to get the post hole digger, finish this, and then make this a really deep, almost like a well, you know, at least several feet deep right there, that it'll hold more water like that. But, yeah, so this is all just basically overflow. I feel the first drips on my head. It's wonderful. So yeah, once this gets a really good deep soaking, we'll be good for a while. We will be good for a while. And then I'll start moving some wood chips around later. There's no shelter from the wind up here, as you can tell. Which is why I keep my food forest very, very dwarfed. I do not let trees get tall on my property. And this is why. Here, between and behind, right before I moved in, there were 13 60-foot tall pine trees, I'm told. Oddly enough, the soil is perfectly balanced neutral, not acidic. But it just barely missed all sorts of things. Like the shed was actually removed at the time, and the new one was still in pallets. I didn't live here yet. It nipped off. The corner of this fence had to get winched back in. The gutter like this, but on the back of the porch, got nipped off and had to be replaced. And I did notice that on the opposite corner from this one, over, like so, the back of this wall, I did notice that it actually snapped the support there, but the roof seems fine. It's going to be something to deal with when I have to do my roof. But it's not something to deal with prior to that, because it's not structural so much right now. It's not really holding up more than that last 4 feet, so it's fine. But they won't be able to put a new roof on like that, so, you know. It'll have to be dealt with eventually. So you can see how much less this is blowing even than that. Look at the difference. The house is what's sheltering me from the wind right now and nothing else. Dangerous high wind zone. So yeah, here's hoping this storm arrives. I will record if we start to see actual water movement around the garden. I'll get an umbrella and come back out again, and I'll be looking forward to showing that to you if it becomes applicable. So do take care. I'll look forward to talking to you soon. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, and I'll add the water management playlist here at the end for you to take a look if you want. Thanks so much. Take care. Bye.